The center was created to provide children with a voice within the legal system and develop standards and practices to improve the quality of representation children receive. While the center provides training for attorneys representing children in court, we also educate children about their rights and responsibilities and inform the public about the specialized needs of children in all aspects of the system. With education, development of standards and programs, and technical assistance, we hope to influence judges and legislators to develop better policies for children that take into consideration the needs of children and of the communities in which they live. Our primary objective is to develop model programs in all areas that the legal system affects children's lives. We create best practice standards for children in dependency court. We provide representation, advocate for them in court, take an active role in the child's case management, and involve the judge early on. We expect to see a change in the outcomes affecting the lives of these children. We also collect data to influence legislative changes in this area. Through implementing the Juvenile Training Immersion Program and pushing for adoption of the National Juvenile Defense Standards, the Center hopes to improve representation and outcomes for juveniles in delinquency court. Again, by using data to show the positive outcomes from the standards and training, legislators and courts will have the information they need to develop better policies for our juvenile justice system. The Center has expertise of people who have been working on children's issues for many years, but also the willingness to learn and use cutting-edge theories and information to make children's lives better. We also have the time and expertise to consult with frontline attorneys to give them the help they need to advocate for their clients. We've also been involved in the development of national standards and training programs. We know what works. As director of the center, I've developed working relationships with people in the field, statewide, regionally, and nationally. This has allowed us to work on projects collaboratively and access data and innovative ideas. The center continuously works on collecting data and reaching out to the public to educate people on the importance of providing a future for all our children. The center also provides specialized training and consultation in delinquency, child welfare, immigration, and school cases to enable attorneys and other professionals to become stronger advocates for children. We host an annual Juvenile Defenders Conference and provide handbooks and training to educate attorneys and other advocates about children's issues. We don't just talk about our way of doing something. We try to implement what has been developed as best practices. The center looks at data and outcomes to measure our success. When we first started our annual conference for defense attorneys, we had 25 attorneys sign up for the conference. Now we have more than 125, and other groups have modeled their conferences after ours. Attorneys leave our conferences and contact us later to either help them implement something they learned at the conference or to let us know that what they learned made them a better advocate for their client. Our publications are distributed by us, but also by other attorneys, judges, and juvenile probation, and so they reach many more attorneys, children, and their families. The center is not just about getting delinquent children off or protecting abused and neglected children from their parents. We're about creating more positive options for children and developing better life outcomes for them. The center believes every child has the right to live a safe and productive life. They have a right to do this in an environment that will provide them every opportunity for a safe place to live, nurturing, education, and the opportunity to be productive members of society. The dissemination of information has been one of our major accomplishments. The center has done this through our annual conference, where our number of attorneys in attendance continues to increase, and through pamphlets and books that we've written and distributed to help attorneys, children, and families. We also have a blog that has created a place for conversation on many issues affecting children and is in the top 1% of visited blogs in the world. Our involvement in the development of model programs is another major accomplishment. Our new program of providing best practices for representation of children and collecting data about these case outcomes will help courts to develop better policies for the handling of these cases. We're also proud of our work on appellate cases, which has helped develop new law that helps children in varied aspects of their lives. Raising money has been our biggest challenge. Without sufficient funding, it's difficult to keep consistency in our programs and staffing. We've had many dedicated and talented people who have worked with us in the past, who have gone on to doing other things, not because they weren't interested in helping children, but because the resources haven't been available to compensate them for their work. Although many people continue to work with us as volunteers, it's difficult to run an advocacy group and think tank with only volunteers. One of the programs we've been trying to implement is a plain language forms program in juvenile court. Children often return to court for simple violations of probation. This is often because they don't understand or they can't read the probation forms. We would like to develop simpler forms for juveniles, use them in at least one of the juvenile courts, and collect data to see if children are better able to understand the terms of probation, thus resulting in fewer violations. The center would expand model programs in dependency and delinquency representation, continuing to act as a resource and trainer for attorneys in this area. We would distribute more publications to help child attorneys do their job better and to help educate children and the community about different aspects of the legal system. Currently, there is no think tank in Texas that examines best practices and policies for the juvenile justice system. The center does some of that, but we could do more. The center could also coordinate information for legislators and judges about how different states are handling various issues in juvenile justice in order to keep everyone from having to reinvent the wheel. We could also develop a statewide youth council that includes children from the foster care system and delinquency system. This would enable policymakers to hear directly from the children and to use this information to help develop better policies in the state of Texas.